gentlemen, you're watching ECLECTICKA. That's right. We're back again for more sci-fi fantasy talk. Hey, I am Michael 7 Michael. We've got Sensei Vegan, aka Charles, and we've got Drew. How you guys doing today?
I'm good. I'm trying to pay attention. My head's divided in two places right now between toy reviews and doing the show. So
man.
Well,
that's awesome.
Get back on track, but this is a good way to start here. So,
well, guys, we're going to talk about obviously pop culture, but as you know from our last show, we're going to have some retro talk and some stuff that's been out and our reaction to that stuff too. I think I want to go with pop culture first, whatever's out now, and then kind of go back from there. Is that cool?
It sounds all right to me.
Cool. All right, so Drew, so what do you got that's hot and ready right now for the presses? What's out there now that we should be paying attention to?
Well, first thing that comes to mind for me, Charles, we were just talking about this. The Defenders is about to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's going to drop like literally any minute now. Is it this coming week? I feel like it's this coming.
Is it the 18th?
August 18th, I believe, is the drop date. So that's this coming week. So I got to be prepared for that. I'm trying. I can finish summer finals and my a project. I can try to fit in Voltron because I'm dragging so much ass on the second season for that one. That's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing applies to Boku no Hero Academia. That's the anime that's. You guys remember that Disney movie Sky High?
Mm-hmm.
Heroes?
Mm-hmm.
It's that if it were an anime, and I love it so damn much. I'm obsessed with it, so I need to catch up on that. And Charles, there's something else that you mentioned that we were waiting for. What was it?
I can't recall. Oh, we're talking about Disney and Netflix.
Oh, that was the Disney and Netflix thing. So yeah, we were talking about that too. So when it comes to things that are about to come out,
Mm-hmm.
the big one for me is Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's been so far, the early reviews have been so polarizing. I don't think I've paid this much attention to reviews for a show in like ages, and it's so polarizing that I'm just curious now to see what the hell happens.
Yeah.
And what are people saying? Like, what's the?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Seven. One of the titles that I heard for the reviews, it literally says it's 3/4 great, and I'm like, ooh, that's just a blank, like a straight up, just blatant shot at Danny Rand, because he's the one that we kind of don't like.
Right.
And as messed up as that is, I think it's kind of funny that he's the. Oh, this is gonna sound really bad. He's essentially the scrappy do out of the group. Like he's the burden.
Everyone knows who Scrappy is.
Yeah, he's scrappy. I can't say he's Shaggy or Scooby because they're the mainstays, but no, he's
It's just his character's not complete compared to the other ones. As far as Daredevil complete, Jessica Jones complete, Luke Cage complete, then you got this dude running around with one fist. So I mean,
yeah, and I've been going back like retroactively and looking at some of the press and statements that Scott Buck and them were making for the show. The guy didn't know the character. He didn't know the character at all. Like a lot of the stuff that he said, there's a quote, I'm paraphrasing, but his quote went, well, yeah, he has kind of like a lame superpower because he can just hit things really hard. And I'm like, can you shortchange your character any harder than that? So I'm just saying that he sucks outright. Golly, man.
Wow.
We stated that before. You get these guys that know nothing about the characters. Mm-hmm. Iron Fist, like, we're comic book guys. We know. You this is the thing. You can shortchange some people that don't know anything, but guys like us, you can't, man. You got
to notice. People freaking noticed. So there was that. But we'll see. Ultimately, we'll see with the Defenders.
And he's not a whack character.
No, he's not a whack character
at all.
They fix it.
It's what you do with it.
Okay.
It's a bad
script.
It
goes like this, guys. I don't think he's a whack character. I know some other people who may be watching who I work with. They don't really care about Iron Fist at all. They don't like him. And for just reason, because he's kind of a ridiculous character, I feel that he works best when he's with Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've always been saying that the more often you can pair him with Luke Cage, the better off I think he'll be ultimately. But he does have good runs. I've shown you guys before my wall of weird. I got the one really awesome one where he's basically Mortal Kombat, but with Marvel characters, right? He has good runs. You just have to pick them and then just motion about them in the format for a TV show.
You know,
done.
As far as Iron Fist with me, I mean, they're apples and oranges, but in the same sense. Everyone used to talk about how bad Aquaman was. Oh, Aquaman, this and that. Now look at Aquaman. Everyone's talking about great. You understand?
Yeah, I blame Super Friends for that. They nerfed him so hard. The giant seahorse. That wasn't his fault, man. God, that wasn't his fault.
Again, us being who we are and how our minds work, we can see through all the smoke and mirrors and see what great character it could be or what it could morph into. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But what you're saying, it's really the fault of the writers.
Exactly.
And they're not exploring the best parts of the character because they know what? They're not familiar with the character.
They're not familiar.
This does happen. I'm not going to refute that. I will say it's not always the writer's fault, though. There's been when you do research and look into what goes behind these shows and some of these films.
Right.
A lot of times you'll have a crap movie that had golden beginnings that were just completely manhandled by the studio execs.
Yeah, studio. For example, well, it's a compound effort in a sense. You got the writers and you got the studio. Because sometimes the studios, they have their own mindset on what they want and how they want it, and they know nothing about the character. The only thing they see is dollar signs.
The hot issue right now is we already know that Justice League has now been helmed by Joss Whedon, right?
Right.
He's taken over the project. And it's again the issue of they're going to have to go back and do all these reshoots. And the term is now it's a pivot from what we heard before. Everything is dark and gritty. Everything has to be lighter now with Warner Brothers and DC because that's what Marvel's doing. So let's copy them. So all these reshoots are going down for Justice League, and I am hoping because there was the rumor that we heard is that the early or the initial version of the Justice League film that they have is quote unwatchable. The one that Scott Snyder had.
Wow.
Right? That Zack Snyder had, not Scott Snyder. He's the other guy. So the reshoots are going in to try to fix that under Joss Whedon, but we've seen what happens with that. This has happened already with the Suicide Squad. They go in, they try to add some jokes and make it light, and it just kind of doesn't hit. It's just weird and out of place. I'm hoping that it doesn't make for a disjointed crap shoot of a film with the Justice League. I'm really hoping that's the case.
It's the issue I have with that, and we have mentioned this time and time again. You let each character be who they are, and then you let them come together and be as one. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have Batman. That dude's not supposed to be walking out with a smile on his face, cracking jokes. That's just not.
Unless it's that way.
You understand what I mean? Let each character be who they are, and let them join together, and let the film just run its course. You can't force a round peg into a square freaking hole, dude. It's not gonna work.
And each character has to. That's why the last trailer that I saw, I was satisfied with.
Yeah.
Because it showed each what element each character brought to the mix. Don't screw with that. Work with that. Build from there, right? And then you can do whatever you need to do when it comes to we'll need to switch this up and tweak this. We already have an X $1 million edit that we have to get for Henry Cavill's mustache because he's doing a movie, right, where he has this character has to have a mustache. They don't want him to shave it off. So the scenes for Superman in the Justice League movie are going to have to be CG'd out. It's probably one of the most ridiculous, stupid edits I've ever heard in a movie ever.
Wait a minute, he has a mustache and they have to CGI it?
You guys didn't hear about this? Yeah, they have to edit out his mustache because he's filming another movie that he's contractually, I guess, obligated not to shave, right? So for the Justice League movie, the parts that he's in, he has his mustache, but they're going to CG it out. It's so stupid.
This leaves you have a mustache on.
No, well, it looks ridiculous. Then it doesn't match, and it looks like, you got America Superman doing his thing, and it doesn't edit-wise, it'll look like crap. So, I don't know. It's so stupid.
He's coming, the way I look at it, he's effing coming back. So, you don't got to be in accuracy. I don't know. I would, I'd give him the freaking
I mean, he
stash.
died and came back. Some things could be off. He could grow.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I
So
was-
he's got a neat little, like, southern mustache, right?
Oh,
I'd
man.
give him
No,
that
don't
stash.
do that. Batman, no. Superman with a mustache doesn't.
Best Superman ever is the old drunk Superman. And
Oh,
that was,
man.
Superman 2 is breaking beer bottles and stuff with the peanuts on the bar.
Mm-hmm.
When he had.
Man,
What?
that's
Is that
Superman
about
2?
Superman 2? When he
Yeah.
goes to the diner?
When he was drunk.
Petty ass Superman. No. He gets so mad that he goes into that bar and gets his ass whipped. What does he do when he after he gets his powers? He comes back to the same diner to fight that one guy that beat the
Yeah, he
crap out of him.
did,
You are
didn't he?
so petty, Superman. That is so beneath
You gotta
you.
step
mate.
outside.
Well, speaking about little, good transition or petty, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like, Ant-Man was the guy that everybody was looking at cockeyed when they announced that he would get a movie, and what ended up happening? He was one of the most successful films out of that cycle of films, and I thought it was great. Scott Lang, they took some liberties, they switched things up. It wasn't Hank Pym, it was Scott Lang that we got,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that Paul Rudd slayed it. I thought the cast was dope. It was kind of, remember we were talking about way back when Seven, we had like other posts, and the issue was, well, they're just taking jabs at DC, and
Right.
this is just by the numbers superhero story where something's gonna. Yeah, it was a formula. We uncovered the formula,
Right.
but it worked.
It definitely
And I
did.
feel golden bits that we get out of these films comes in. We get a solid introduction with the first film,
Right.
and they're able to add other beats and things to the character in the subsequent films, which is what you would want in a sequel, I guess.
And it was super light, and they had
was-
their cameos. They definitely brought other characters in to support. It made sense. Nothing
It was
didn't
like
make
that.
sense. Yeah.
I agree. And it was, I think the comparison that people had, or some people made about it, it was like the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
It
thing.
was. It did
Because
have
it was, no, I totally saw that, because it was definitely the lighter film out of that batch, but you still enjoyed it, because the humor wasn't always just kiddied up. And they
Right.
did have some serious moments to it,
Right.
And it had the superhero origin in it. So it covered its bases, man. It was just
Yeah,
it did.
overall.
It just told the story.
Same
And how dark, I mean, I guess anything could be made dark, but it was unnecessary. It was
Hank Pym
unnecessary.
goes to Ant-Man is actually not a light character at all. Hank Pym is insane.
Oh,
like-
okay.
There's the infamous panel in the comics where he smacks his wife Van Dyne,
Oh,
and it's like, oh my god, domestic violence, all this and that and the third. And the ultimate run of Marvel, he takes it one step further. He actually attacks Janet with his hands. Yeah, he's insane, dude. And then there's the whole multiple personality disorder thing that he has. Like, Ant-Man is by tradition a pretty dark character, but they reined that because obviously PG-13 film, and not trying to frighten the kids. So they changed some things, but they still made it enjoyable overall. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped about Ant-Man and Wasp. And then Evangeline Lilly, who plays oh my god, Hope Van Dyne, right? She was dope in the last one.
She was good.
Pretty much a
Michelle
completely-
Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer's coming in.
She's gonna be the next one. That's right. And then my boy Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne, the man himself, he's gonna be in it. Notice how everybody's switching up like camps right now. You got people that are doing DC movies, but then they're doing Marvel movies, and they're just it's a shared little park that everybody's kind of weaved in and out of. Josh Brolin is doing 2 Marvel characters now.
Two
Wow.
Marvel characters.
It's
Yeah,
it's its own thing, man. Right? So
how you guys feel about that? People, from an actor standpoint, they're just working. They're making money. They're getting deals.
yeah, they're not gonna say no. Hey, can
Right.
we give you $1 million to play this character in this
Right.
superhero movie?
But as a fan, how do you feel? Do you feel that people should stay in a...
I think they're shortchanging people in a sense. I always look at the first Fantastic Four, you know what I mean? And I look at Captain America. So a lot of times I'm seeing, as much as I love Cap, I'm looking at him seeing Johnny Storm. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he's definitely he's solidified himself as Captain America now.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Yeah.
not even debatable. But you do have to kind of do a double take and be like, you could get some fresh blood in there.
They can do it.
There are other actors. I feel like out of the lot right now, even though Seven, I know you have gripes about so many familiar faces being in the Black Panther movie, there's still actors that are getting their come up that I still feel that they would totally benefit from these roles that are fresh faces that we haven't seen too much of.
I think everyone should be given at least give a shot.
Give a shot, yeah.
Yeah, they're giving people shots with this. Letitia Wright, she's going to be in Black Panther. I haven't seen her really much of anything, and she's a fresh face that's involved with it. A few of the other characters that are going to be in Black Panther, they're actors that you've noticed in other things if you follow, like, you know, film and television and stuff like that, but they haven't really been given an opportunity, I feel like, of this scale.
I can understand that.
I'd like to see a little more of that and less, you know, household names. Mm-hmm. But as we often say, this is the whole debate of, well, you got to make sure that people go. You do this by getting people that people, you know, actors that people know. Right. But you also want to have new faces who could potentially bud their own career based off the strength of their performance, which I honestly would prefer.
And but see, that's the double take, because we've seen this time and time again where within this world, which is most of the people that will see these films don't care. We really just want to see a good job. Someone that looks like the character, can act like the character, you know, because how many movies have bombed? I mean, let's look at Green Lantern, you know, let's look at Catwoman, you know.
I definitely see credence in that, because think about it like this, as fans,
right?
Whenever we think about or talk about potential film adaptation of a comic book, we always go by who looks the role, and be able to do it justice. And they're not always whichever actor, insert hot actor here, whoever's trending.
Thank you.
As the girl's going, oh my God, he's so hot. Like, you know, they don't always go by that when it comes to casting.
Right.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I gotta say for that one, it's who looks the part and who, you know, has the acting chops to bring something to the role. Right. You know, who can do a faithful adaptation of that character.
Now, switching up to something a little more fantasy. Fantasy comedy. We've all seen Groundhogs Day.
Yeah.
Netflix just did a film with Marlon Wayans called Naked, where he wakes up every day in an elevator before his wedding and has to keep going through different trials and tribulations to get through the wedding before the bell rings.
Okay, now see, you totally just caught me blind with this movie. I haven't heard anything about it.
I haven't heard anything about this one.
And from the premise alone, I groaned before the show, and I'm groaning again now, because it sounds like the whole life moral of how he needs to appreciate the girl that said yes to him, and it's a whole stupid romance thing where he has to learn how to appreciate the woman, because, you know, being married to a chick is going to be the most important thing he ever does in his freaking life. And
oh, wow. Did you see the movie?
I don't know. That's
you just killed it. You just did it. Wow.
What is the film about? Because if that's the moral, if that's what we're supposed to take away from it, you know, be hyped because a chick says yes, I'd skip.
Oh, by the way, Regina Hall, you did a great job. If you watched this show.
Regina Hall's in that one? Because I like her.
She did a really good job, you know. Okay. I mean, I think...
Wait a second, so the movie's out or it's coming out?
It's straight to Netflix. It's a Netflix original. August 11th it came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it just came out. It's new.
Creeping up on us.
I
don't know when this is out.
So she did a great job. I mean, Marlon carried the film. I mean, it was set up. It was created that way.
So it was about 7? You saw the movie, I'm assuming.
You know what? That's exactly what it's about. You killed it without even seeing it. I would say 75% into it. I'm like, now I'm just studying. I'm not really being entertained. I'm just studying as a director and as a writer, you know.
That's so bad. But I'm blindly talking crap on it, and that apparently I got.
But the last 20 minutes of the film, you know, there were some touching moments, and it's like, the moral of the story, that kind of thing. It definitely got better, but it took a good 20, 30 minutes to get over the fact this is Groundhog's Day. You guys could have came up with something else. Why did you bother to do this film? You know, this is just an easy way out. Marlon's one of the creators of it, which didn't really create anything, just kind of, you know.
Basically,
I don't want to take, and let me stop for a second.
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything away from Marlon Wayans because say what you will about the movies that he makes, the movies that he's in, the guy keeps working. I can respect that. He's consistent, and it's like he'll find a project to put himself in that will, yield something. The fact that they got as many scary movie and those spoofs as they did out of Marlon, I'm shocked. Because I do know that for all the silliness that we see him in, he still has Requiem for a Dream to his name, which it's like you watch that movie and it's like, holy crap, this dude can act too.
Yeah, he can.
Jesus, you almost forget sometimes because in so much silly crap that he is capable of like really deep, emotional, messed up roles.
That's one of the most talented families in the game, which I don't think people give as much respect as they deserve.
Yeah, they have like a low-key dynasty with as many people.
Yeah, they do.
Like
and the kids and the cousins and the kids' kids and
the cousins and
everybody.
They've been doing this since what, the 70s, 80s?
Yeah,
There's been Wayans everywhere since like they got like the
late 80s, the late 80s,
Living Colors.
Yeah,
late 80s, early 90s, and Living Color. The Wayans brothers.
Wasn't one of them in Hollywood Shuffle?
That's funny. You know what?
Way back.
Scorsese was doing a commercial, and I actually met Marlon because he was like one of the last ones to go to California. He kind of wanted to do things on his own. I remember him talking about that, and it's so funny to see him after that join A Living Color and then becoming famous. Super cool guy. At least when I met him, I don't know what he's like now. But I didn't laugh out loud. And that's one of the things as a writer and even just acting as well, I'm not finding that many shows that are comedic that I'm just busting out laughing. A lot of stuff out there, it's humorous, but it stays there. Like all the gags they did in this movie is like, okay, that would be funny. But it was very like...
Right.
Yeah.
That's
you know.
Oh my God. What was I?
Like,
There's
I'm
certain
naked!
shows-
I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, there's certain shows that will elicit that, will get that out of you. I think I'm kind of lucky because the shows that I watch typically have me busting the F up.
Right.
But you have those other movies. I feel like it's more of a problem with movies now, where they have jokes in there and they don't hit.
Right.
And they do that awkward thing where they pause because they think that's the point where the audience is supposed to laugh, and you're in a theater and everyone's quiet and it's super awkward for some reason.
Right.
That happens. And sounds like from what you're describing, it was one of those.
Yeah. So I would say this, because there was a lot of things in there that you feel that, yes, that is funny. That is humorous.
Yes, so I find that humorous.
I find that humorous.
Like an alien. Like
next. Yeah. Ha. The humans would get that. I see that. I see that internationally working. So I brought that up. What do you guys feel about, I mean, we talk about remakes often.
Oh.
But now this is a little different because this is not a remake. This is, let me take the premise of an old hit and just kind of twist it and do my thing with it. How do you guys, because both of you are writers, so as well. What do you think?
They're just reskinning. There's no...
Yeah, it's a reskinning. You take an idea, you mix and match. Hollywood's infamous for that. We do that all the time because there's even an adage. It's like there are no new ideas in Hollywood anymore. So the idea is we take pre-existing ideas and we mesh them together and make like a chimera of a new concept.
How do you guys feel about that?
Well, let me say something real quick. I was watching, they were talking about doing a Matrix 4. And I'm listening to these two guys talk about it, and they were like, well, Matrix Reloaded came out in 2003. They were like, the first one was phenomenal. Second one, I liked that one. It was okay. It wasn't as good as the first one. Third one, to me, was just, they were just making a movie just to make it. It really, to me, didn't coincide. Yeah, it was just very incomplete.
Yeah.
So the one guy was like, well, do you think they could do a movie and has it been long enough for people to forget Matrix Reloaded? So are they thinking about doing how they did like Fast and Furious? Oh, we'll come out with another one. Forget all the other ones. We're going to take this straight pretty much from the first one, and then we're going to move forward.
Right.
From what I understand, Keanu Reeves is up to doing another one. But how's the script? You understand what I'm trying to say? So
yeah, it's almost like they they're performing surgery on the installments of the film that they don't like. Because the first one, it's a filming milestone for me.
Mhm.
Like, that movie changed my freaking life. It completely got me into the idea of analyzing film and metaphor and how you convey a story. And it's a perfect sci-fi iteration of the allegory of the cave, right?
That movie was
That whole thing. It was done well. And then the others were just too, visually sci-fi action films, right?
Right.
So they exist already. We can't deny that they're already there. They're made. It's done. But going in and then trying to fix it in ways, I feel like that could potentially just make it worse.
could make it worse.
Because we aren't going to forget those other movies. It's not like you're giving us amnesia and we forgot what Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Part 3. Let's do a low-key Dragon Ball Z fight at the end of the movie. We're not going to forget that.
You can't forget it unless they go the route of Animatrix, of all the other crap that, the Animatrix basically was kind of concentrating on everything behind the scenes. But it'd be kind of hard to even do that because you're still having Neo as the main character. So they kind of followed it up with those other two movies. So
there's the reboot route, which comes with its own set of risks. We're already getting another freaking Saw reboot, and that's not even all that old. But you can do it. Yeah, you can give it a shot. But I still don't think that it takes the crappy taste that it leaves in our mouth beforehand. So it kind of defeats the purpose. Why even bother then?
Oh, heads up.
Oh.
Have you guys seen the promo for Will Smith's new Netflix?
Yeah.
I'm looking. I haven't said this in years.
Oh, I did. I did see that.
I'm looking forward to watching a Will Smith film.
Dang.
Yes.
7. Wow.
Because the thing is, in the beginning, it's just it is biting off this old show. But as you watch the trailer, they did add some new elements. Because Charles, remember there was a show about a guy that was his sidekick was an alien?
Alien Nation.
Oh,
Alien
I remember
Nation.
that. Yeah,
So,
I remember Alien. I remember that.
So it looks like Alien
that.
Nation, but they did add some twists to it. So
They did.
But it's fantasy. Yeah, it's like fairies and stuff. It's magic. So
Right.
I'm hyped for that one, first of all.
Right.
What was the name of it, 7? I'm totally forgetting what the name of it is.
I'm totally forgetting the name too. I can't get over the fact I'm looking forward to a Will Smith film.
Yeah, that's kind of throws me for a loop, man. 7 is looking forward to a Will Smith project. It's great stuff.
Because that hasn't happened since the Wild Wild West.
Oh man, they jacked that up. Oh, you see, they remade.
look at Drew's face. Now this is before I saw the film. Okay, Drew. I was looking forward to it. Okay.
Wow.
I was too when did that movie come out? What year? I think I was
like
13.
5.
Oh my god. So.
Are you guys up for doing another episode?
I'm down if you guys are.
Yeah, I can do another.
Cool. So we're running out of time, but all right, folks. This is live. If you're watching us, stay tuned. Hold on. We'll be back. Otherwise, if you're watching us on cable, you'll see the next part the next week. So you're watching Eclectica. Thank you, Drew. Sensei Vegan.
Yes.
And I'm 7, and we'll be right back. Give us a second. All righty.
These messages. Nobody remembers that. Me and 8 other people know that one.